Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, I'm David Game, and I want to talk about Destiny. I was going to write an article and call it Destiny, the Thin Line Between Love and Hate, but I figured it'd come across as more, because you can't convey tone in an article, so you can convey it in a video. Anyway, Destiny is a good game. A very good game. I'm still playing it. I've enjoyed it. I don't see why you wouldn't enjoy it. But there are valid complaints. And there's a lot of people just complaining for the sake of complaining, because that's what they do, complaining that Bungie aren't doing Halo, blah 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 blah. Right, obviously that's because I believe Microsoft own the IP, so, Halo games are still coming out. Gonna have to get over that one. But, I've been told about the legacy of Bungie and their storytelling prowess, and that's where my main gripe lies in the story. And I know people have said before this gets lobbied at me, check the Grimoire cards, man. I've done that. It fleshes out things, but no. With that budget, surely they could have put that in the game. Could have put this story in the game. Could have given us, rather than forcing us to go to their app or go to the website, which is admittedly clever for business, like that whole situation there. Very clever to get you clicking on their site and downloading their app. But I'd have much rather, and I'm sure they know that we'd have much rather had the, even the option to read them in-game, and that'll be patched at some point. I almost guarantee it. Like, I can't imagine that one day they're not like, yep, we've had enough clicks, we've got enough downloads, we're on all of their phones. Yeah, just, put them in the game now. They're not going to delete the app. It's true, right? So, my biggest gripe, as I said, is the story. Because, like people say, they're saying there isn't one. That's not the problem, from my perspective. The problem is that there was one. And then there wasn't one. Right? Think about a game like, not comparing the games, don't get this confused, but Rogue Legacy. Rogue Legacy has a very thin story, if anything at all. It's very, this, done. You could explain it in a sentence or two. But it didn't pretend to be intriguing, either. This is the thing. Destiny at the very beginning, I think everyone can talk for the Cosmodrome, be in a really intriguing moment. You see the Fallen, and you encounter the Hive, and you're thinking, alright, yeah, I'm getting this, and like the whole Rasputin, I believe, Rasputin situation, and it's all very kind of, like, a little bit vague, but enough to be like, okay, I want to go to that next planet and find out a bit more. And, okay, so at this point, I'm about to get into spoiler territory, so if there is anybody out there watching this video right now that you haven't done the main story, you're not missing much. But, spoilers. Ready? Are we all good? Have you all turned off? Awesome. Now, when you get to the moon, you do a bunch of missions that, as you do, this is the point where it gets a bit foggy. You're doing a lot of missions and you're not really sure why. But that's okay, because maybe we're going to find out. And then that stranger, the stranger is the girl with the rifle, la 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 la. She's watching you and you're like, oh, that's intriguing, why is she watching me? And then nothing else really happens on the moon. So, again, you think, alright, well, I'm really interested in finding out, this is my perspective, why the stranger's there? Maybe this is going to get better. I truly had faith in the situation. And we get to Venus, and she confronts you. And you're like, oh, okay. Oh, you're a good guy. Oh, right, so you're one of the good guys. Okay. Why are you following me? Nothing. And at that point, we also get our first little buddy cop moment between Peter Dinklage's ghost and the Exo. My Exo, your character, whatever, right? And it was like, something little like, don't do that. Like, it was a nice little exchange. I really appreciate that kind of banter between characters. That's why I love Borderlands so much. And so, you follow the instruction, and you see the Queen at the reef with her brother or main guardian, something like that. Either way, that really intrigued me. Unfortunately, yeah, right. So I was like, oh, okay, alright, I see, yeah. Like, this is where it's going. They're in a mysterious place called the Reef. They've got fallen bodyguards. I'm looking forward to... Oh, go get a Vex Gate Lord's head. Like, okay, yeah, mate, what's this gonna be? So you go and get the head, you throw it down, it's a cool little moment, and then nothing happens. Then you do a final mission, which is admittedly epic, but would have been more epic if we knew why we were really killing the darkness. I mean, you want to talk about how simple the premise of light and dark is, but then play Kingdom Hearts, and you'll find yourself in a very, very convoluted web of admitted awesomeness, because people love the characters in Kingdom Hearts, and this is the biggest issue with Destiny, in my opinion, because I could, wax lyrical all day about the good stuff, about the mechanics are awesome. I'm still playing it. I'm going to play the DLC. I mean, nothing's going to stop me from playing it. My biggest problem is that I don't feel like I should be playing it. I feel like I'm rewarding something that I don't agree with, which is intriguing us with what looked to be a really good story, and then pulling out the rug. That's what my issue comes into with it. And as I say, I still think there's time for Bungie to rectify this if they want to, but they're not even addressing it. Like, that Reddit post, this is what kind of sparked the controversy in my head, and of course it will, because the rumour mill really does that to people, journalists especially, and you don't want to buy into it, because I haven't bought into any of it. But I felt this way before these things started. Like, I'm playing this game and I'm like, man, I feel a bit let down by Bungie's efforts in terms of the story. Because you hooked me and then threw me away like a fish. Like, it really bothered me. And no, it doesn't really amount to anything, your efforts through the main storyline. And it's really not worth doing, in my opinion. That's just the way I feel about it. The storyline's not worth doing. Head straight to the Crucible. When you can get the Strike playlists, go for them. Because the only place that really matters in the game is the tower. Like, and that Reddit post, as I say, had some really interesting points, and that was either some really decent fan fiction, or that existed before you threw it out and started again. But I really would like, some sort of comment from Deej, or anyone on the dev team that knows about the situation. I'd really love for you to not, don't skirt the issue. Just say what it was. If it did exist, say that you changed it. I mean, we're not going to stop playing. We paid for the game. Most people paid for that DLC. We're all going to play it. So, a bit of transparency is always appreciated. You see, your game's going to continue for a while. You said you got a long game plan. And, it's a 10-year plan. Alright, so you could talk about how with Warcraft, in order to understand the game, you need to pretty much, if you want to understand the story, you're going to have to go read the lore, you have to read the quest things. Here's the thing though, the quest things and the storylines are in the game. Anything you need to have known can be read in a book, can be caught up on their website, much like the whole Bungie thing. But the biggest issue is that Warcraft has had a 10-year legacy now, is it? Yeah, nearly 10 years. You are beginning a 10-year legacy. Now, from what I've been told, apparently Warcraft didn't contain, obviously, all the lore it did at once and at this point, but it had quest lines, blah, blah, blah. And again, not comparing the games, just comparing the plan. Destiny has a 10-year plan, and it started off its game very well. The question is the DLC going to fix it? Was the story really as good as it seemed to be on the Reddit post, like about the whole, the Raven, was it something, or the Crow? I don't know. It's been a while since I read it, but it seemed really interesting. And I mean, at the very least, are we going to get some real fleshing out of the characters in the tower? This is the thing. Even if we don't have an antagonist, we are the protagonist. We don't know why anything's the darkness. We don't know why we are the light. It's all so vague that it's painfully vague. And this is the issue. This is why Destiny, in my opinion, doesn't deserve higher than an 8. And an 8's still a really good score. I would give it an 8 personally. But if it had a good story, it might be a 10. Honestly, it might have been that near masterpiece, 9.5 kind of business. Like, really, it could have achieved that. And it's a shame, because if that's because they tore the old story out and decided to do a new one, that is a real saddening thing. But it won't stop any of us playing. And it's the whole reason that I feel like we shouldn't love Destiny as much as we do. We do, though, and we still play it. I'm playing it every day. But I don't feel we should, because I feel that's rewarding the vagueness of Bungie at this moment in time. And it has been, it's been skirted and it's been slightly addressed, but no one's come out and said, yes, there was a story and we rewrote, or no, there was not a story, we did not rewrite, this is why we chose this. I mean, it would take one blog post of the truth to clear it up. This wouldn't even be a conversation for anybody. But it's not there. They'd say they've got more important things to focus on. I disagree. I think taking half an hour to an hour out of your day, writing a blog post that addresses these issues, renews faith in your fans. It renews faith in the game. Even if the answer isn't what we want it to be, it's an answer, and it's the truth. Straight from the horse's mouth. There's no more speculation, but here's the thing. Commenting on the rumour mill, but you're currently profiting from the rumour mill. People are talking about it. I'm sat here doing a video on it. 12 minutes long. It's going to go a bit longer. You don't want the rumour mill to stop. Because much like your game, a lot of the intrigue is based on the mystery surrounding the development. The mystery as to why it had such a big funding pool. A general mystery fuels your game alongside its incredibly strong mechanics. But the story really should have taken place of that intrigue. And I'm, honestly, as I say, I'm holding out hope. I'm going to keep playing it. I've done the raid. I cheesed Atheon, pushed off the ledge. By Tuesday I'm going to have to actually kill him. I'm kidding. I agree with those patch fixes most of the time. Like, you know, I'm not that guy going, "Wah, you're ruining my gun, wah." Like, I'm the guy going, alright, yeah, you made tweaks, man. We just got to adapt to them. But I can't get around the story issue. And I can't get around that story issue until somebody addresses that to me. From the dev team, legitimately, that's just me. That's why I wouldn't review Destiny. Like, I just wouldn't do it. Because I don't want to hit it hard, but I would. Because that's a really important element to me. But, you know, it is what it is. And it wouldn't have been so bad if you gave us a really, like, obvious, simplistic, like, not even bad story, just a very simplistic story. But you created intrigue, and you didn't follow up on it, and then you're becoming the victim of your own hype. But you're not even a victim, because you're getting a lot of players. You've sold a lot of copies. You know, I read the figure earlier, I'm not sure what it is. But it's a lot. And so you're not really a victim of the hype. You're masters of the hype. It just turns out that the hype was a big letdown. And now we're all suffering I guess, the repercussions of that, the hype being built up, while you're reaping the benefits. And this isn't to paint Bungie in a bad light at all, because as far as I'm aware, Bungie are a respectable company with really hard-working people. But one person is all it would take, Deej in particular, as the community manager, to address the story issue. And that's just we're looking at nearly 15 minutes of rant. Because rather than do an article, I wanted to come across more relatable, I guess, you know what I'm saying? I did the Forza Horizon review at mygameslounge.com recently, along with the Alien Isolation review. And Forza was my first video review. A little bit static when I was trying to speak about exactly what I'd read. Rather, written, not read. And yeah, so I was reading and trying to talk at the same time. And I got the thing that I hate too. You know, the whole, And this time we are going to talk about Winnie the Pooh. Like, you know, that really stuttered kind of conversation. I don't like that. I like to be more natural. But either way, I wanted to do something a bit more understandable and transparent. Seeing as I'm talking about transparency, I'm still going to play Destiny. I mean, Borderlands the pre-sequel, is royally annoying me with some of its graphical glitches. Some of the things that happen in it are a bit of a pain in the backside. But I mean, I'm still enjoying it. But I would not overlook those problems just because I enjoy the game. It's especially critics, like, you know, if you're going to be a critic about something, it's having an opinion. But if you're going to be a trusted critic, it's having an opinion that people respect. And the only way people are going to respect your opinion, even if they don't agree with it, is if you show transparency. And the same applies to game developers, the same applies to filmmakers, TV, like, what do they call them? Directors, I don't know, show directors, you know what I'm saying, right? The words aren't coming to my brain too quickly at the moment, but ultimately, I really do enjoy Destiny. I just wish I enjoyed it a bit more. Put the Grimoire cards in the game, guys, you know, at the very least. And give us a twist. Give us a story twist. We never found out about the Stranger, or the Queen, or the Traveller, or the Speaker in the game that people paid for. And now if those people don't pay for DLC, they never know. That isn't okay. You did not round off a story, you gave a part of a story. Yeah. Leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. But that's just me. Anyway, it's been a pleasure. I've been David Game for MyGamesLounge.com. Do buy Destiny. Still, you know, story regardless, doesn't matter. There's a lot of content in there. I still hope it gets, you know, I hope in a year's time things change and people don't have a clue what this whole video is about. Because they're like, man, you must have been insane talking about that, man. It's incredible now. I believe that may be the case, but right now, we're talking from the early adopters' point of view. Anyway, bizzle!